What is up, everyone? This is Jojo the Techie, and today we're going to compare the new Chromecast with Google TV against the older, more established Roku. Let's get into it. The new Chromecast with Google TV was unveiled a couple of weeks ago at Google's Launch Night event. Since then, it's been highly sought after and reviewed to death. So what I wanted to do was to offer a different point of view and compare it against what I think is the closest competitor, and that is Roku. Now, I own both a Roku TV and a Roku streaming stick, and they have been for some time now what I use exclusively. But there was something about the new Chromecast that grabbed my attention and made me want to set aside my trust to Roku for now. And I think you all have an idea what that thing is. This remote, which is exactly what made me go with Roku in the first place. As far as price, it's kind of hard to compare the two. You can get a Roku streaming stick for about 40 bucks, and that is a bargain when you compare it against the $50 that the new Chromecast cost. But is a $10 price difference enough to justify switching over to Google TV? I think the decision highly depends on whether or not you're already in the Google ecosystem. For example, both the Roku and Google TV offer voice controls. But in my case, I much prefer the Google Assistant. The Roku solution is just not cutting it for me. So to help you make an educated decision, let's get into the features that make each device unique. Let's do it. Okay, so this is the Roku interface. As you can see, there's nothing really out of the ordinary with it. Everything looks familiar. It's pretty responsive. It presents all your apps in a grid. So basically, whatever app you want to open, you just click on it. Pretty straightforward. Google's interface is also responsive, but there's still some work to catch up to Roku. So I noticed that some apps take a little bit longer to open on Google TV if, let's say, you haven't opened them in a while, but still it's not enough that you're going to be counting the seconds or you're going to notice it a whole lot. So it's actually very responsive. I really like the layout. If you are familiar with Android TV, this basically is the same thing, just rebranded. As someone who at one point also owned an Apple TV, it also gave me that vibe, kind of looked like it as well. So all that to say that the interface looks familiar no matter which platform you're coming from. It's just very easy to navigate. Now, Roku's menus are laid out to the left of the interface, which has cascading submenus. The only thing I don't really like about this layout is that it basically takes over the entire screen. So you don't really get a chance to kind of just see what else is being offered because you're too distracted looking at the huge tiles that they have here for all the content that they offer. Now, the Google TV menus, in contrast, are nicely laid out at the top. So you get a chance to kind of go through the categories without really taking away from the content. So I like this because, you don't really need to have huge tiles and huge menus to the left of the screen when you can have a nice little top menu that kind of walks you through the different categories that you can explore. As far as customization, Roku is clearly the winner here. It offers a whole bunch of theme packs that you can, choose from. Most of these are free. I know that they have a store where you can purchase more. They have wallpapers, they have screensavers, they have different sounds. And even you can even have the option to have it automatically switch to seasonal themes. I do have this option turned on, so every once in a while I'll get a different theme, which is kind of fun. You never know what to expect. And as I mentioned before, there is a store where you can purchase new themes and new wallpapers. Google TV, on the other hand, does not really offer any customization options at all. In fact, the only thing that I found that was remotely close to customization was the apps only mode, which basically will display just the apps that you have installed and will strip away any kind of recommended content or anything that's curated. So if I turn this on right now and I go back to the home menu, it will just show me the apps and it will not show me any recommendations at all. So as far as content, Roku has what they call My Feed, which is any shows or movies that you've added to a watch list. So for example, I've added The Handmaid's Tale, and I can click on it and see which apps are offering the show, which ones are included with a subscription. So if, let's say, I didn't have Hulu, I could choose to just buy the episode in Prime Video. So I appreciate that it gives me that info. And then it kind of gives me a description of the episode, and, you know, what it is about and the day that it aired. So Google has what they call library, which is basically same thing as Roku, anything that you've added to your watch list, anything that is added to your DVR, which I'm not sure if this is if this works with any other provider other than YouTube TV. Since I have YouTube TV and I have free DVR with them, then any shows that I kind of add to get recorded will show up right here, as well as anything in my watch list, and any movies or shows that I've purchased will show up over here. Now, as far as recommendation, Google TV has the For You section, which includes top picks, your apps, continue watching, anything that's trending, and any recommendations that they have for basically from what they notice that you've been searching, things that you've liked. They give you recommendations based on that. And the more that you kind of tell it that you like that type of, let's say I like superhero shows, because I've told it that I like it, then it's going to get better over time, and it's going to start recommending shows or movies or documentaries that it thinks that you will like. There is also a live TV section, which I'm not sure, like I said before, if it works with anything other than YouTube TV. I believe Sling TV is also supported, but I'm not 100% sure. As far as ambient mode, I don't think there's anything on Roku that is not a screensaver that could qualify as ambient mode. Basically, when you stop using the Roku for a while, it will go into a screensaver, and that's pretty much it. Google TV does have an ambient mode, which is actually very good. It gives you the option between your Google Photos, the art gallery, or some experimental sources. As well, it gives you the option to display some additional information. So for example, I have mine set up to use the art gallery. So when it kicks off, it just shows me something from there. Roku does have an app store, which is what they call streaming channels. From here, you can choose between many of their very extensive library of apps. They do have quite a bit, including a lot of third-party ones that may or may not be questionable. But point being that the choices you have are enormous here. There's some premium ones, and there's a lot of free ones. And if you're not sure, you can always search. One app that is not available on Roku right now is HBO Max. Out of the two platforms that we're reviewing today, if you need HBO Max, go with the Chromecast with Google TV, because that one does have it. This does not. The App Store on the Google TV is also very extensive, not as extensive as the Roku, because this is a very new platform, but you do have the option to go through categories, or you can also search. As far as pairing of accessories and remotes, Roku does not allow you to pair any external Bluetooth accessories. You can pair other Roku remote controls, and you can pair Roku, let's say a soundbar that's made by Roku, but it doesn't really let you pair anything that's not part of their ecosystem. Google, on the other hand, lets you pair Bluetooth accessories. So for example, I have paired my Pixel Buds, so I can sit, for example, if I want to watch a TV show or a movie and I don't want to disturb the rest of the family, I can just pop in my earbuds and I can listen to it in privacy. I had mentioned earlier that Roku has a proprietary voice control, but that is not available in every Roku remote. For example, my Roku TV didn't bring a voice remote, but my Roku stick did. is kind of bizarre. You can always buy a voice remote and pair it, but that'll set you back an additional $20. Another gripe I have with the remote is that it is kind of cramped. So this has been a complaint with my family members as well. And the fact that the mute button is so close to the volume rocker, and you can very easily press mute by mistake when you are instead trying to adjust the volume. The Google remote uses Google Assistant, so you can use it to not just tell it what to play on the TV, but you can tell it to turn off lights. You can tell it to show your doorbell camera. So let's say I can tell it, show me my front door. One complaint specifically from my son was that the selection button is kind of small. So if you have wider thumbs, it's very easily to click on the sides instead of in the middle. But you know, I guess that's something that you with practice will get better at. So both the Roku and the Google TV remotes will let you control the volume on the TV, and you can mute, and you can also switch inputs, and you can control the power. So on the Roku TV, to switch inputs, you basically just add the inputs here, so it shows up in a tile like a regular app. On Google TV, you can just press the input button and you can switch between inputs, and you can also control the volume. You can mute and you can power off. So is there a clear winner in this comparison? I don't think there is, because really it just comes down to, like I said before, the ecosystem. If you already have Roku TV set up all over your house, then I don't think there's any reason to switch. But if you're a fan of Google hardware and the ecosystem, or that sweet Google Assistant, I think this is a worthy investment. Hope you enjoyed this comparison. If you like this video, don't forget to like it, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. See you in the next one.